going to hold on to this rejection like, oh my God, they can't see me and the worth of me as a man. Maybe that ain't the story that we were supposed to have. Mm-hmm. And so now here it is. I met both those ladies in roughly 1993. This is 2022, and they are my two closest female friends. And
you need to teach some more men. That's why we need more men on here.
That's it. Because
it shouldn't always be. And I guess me and CHAR and Amber are saying, hey, that's how we feel. You guys think we don't feel the same way. We do. We always feel like if we don't kiss you, we don't hug you, then you reject us and you make us feel like we're not worthy. Okay, so I'm gonna move on.
Yeah,
we feel cheap.
So cheap. Let me tell you a
because
story.
I didn't kiss you and I didn't.
True story. So I was singing at this church for quite a while. Mm-hmm. And then some years later, I was there for like maybe 3 years. And then some years later, and it was predominantly Caucasians. And I was one of the only black, I hate to call myself black, person of color on the stage.
Black person.
What'd you say?
Black person.
I don't want to call myself black, but anyway, but the person of color, right?
Okay.
They bring another person of color in who happens to be a man. And he's also a musician. And he was attracted to me from the get-go. Like as soon as he saw me, and he was just going crazy. And every time he saw me, CHAR, marry me. And he's doing all this outlandish stuff for just no reason. I don't even know him. You know what I mean? Like he didn't even approach me in a gentlemanly way, right. You know, to make me even, okay, maybe consider. But I thought he was just being a jokester. So I laughed it off, whatever. They gave him a higher position. Like he was just a drummer at the time. They gave him a higher position as music director. He used that opportunity to lord over me just because he felt like I was rejecting him. I'm like, I'm not rejecting you. It had nothing to do with that. Right. He used it to lord over me to where he totally disrespected me on the stage in front of everybody. And I had no covering. I had no protection. I had nobody to say, hey, you know, don't do that. You know what I mean? You approach her properly. And as a man of color, I don't even think I should have even had to go through that.
That's right.
You know, and to this day, he refuses to own what he did and to own, you know, the wrong. But let me move on.
Why do you still speak to him?
No, I don't. I'm not at the church anymore. It got that bad because I took it to the higher up, and men, they sided with him.
Of course.
They were actually there, you know.
So anyway,
let me move on.
But I think we have to, CHAR, I know you want to move on, but I think we have to be really, really careful for ourselves to make sure that we isolate those incidents. Even if they're recurring incidents, because sometimes the reality of disproportionate behavior exists, right? So we have to make the effort to make sure that we understand the experiences that we have don't totally define the other side.
Exactly.
Even if you have had them more than once, you can have a guy hit on you and be rude to you 3 times in the same week. But that's not a universal. Right. And you've got to be able to say, okay, this was that moment in time, that experience. It doesn't define everybody that I may encounter. I mean, I've had a woman look me in my face and tell me, you are a great guy and you would make a great mate, but you don't make enough money for me.
Oh.
And she had borrowed money from me twice. I had another lady tell me, same summer, you're such a great guy. Came back to me later and asked me to co-adopt a child with her. That's how solid a guy she felt like I was. But she said, I want to go to Dubai every 6 months and I don't want to work. And you can't provide that for me. So I can't date you. So if I went forward thinking that every woman defined a man's worth by his pocket and by his financial support, I would be wrong, because I'm dating a lady now who doesn't feel that way. And so if I didn't allow myself to know that they don't define everything,
Right.
then I would cheat myself. And so
Right.
when you guys have those experiences, like when I hear Amber say it's been like 10 years, I don't know if that is part of the reason why, but you know, I don't want you to allow yourself to be defined by those experiences, because if your energy says that's all that you think exists, that's all that you're going to experience. So as soon as I heard Amber say that, I said, well, she's quick to pull the trigger on saying, no, that's not what I'm trying to do right now. It's not what I'm not interested in that. But I hope that you know what that looks like for you, so that when the time, unexpected or not, this guy, chiseled, handsome, and just like you might like, walks up to you and tries to get to know you, you don't knee jerk and say, that's not what I want to do right now. But you say, hey, you know what? This might be the time that the stars aligned, and let me give it a chance. Because you're clearly bright and gifted, and 10 years is a lot. I'm gonna tell you, baby, them years go fast. I wish I could go back 10 and start all over. So
Well, I will hate to tell you how long it's been for me then.
I'm probably, look, I like to think I'm a little fly. I'm probably older than I look. So, Darlene, so
Yes.
but I just wanted to put that in. I don't want, we can get comfortable. I didn't date Amber. I didn't date for probably a solid 4 or 5 years. Just had enough of it. I've had enough foolishness, and you can convince yourself of the reasons why not to do it. You know, at some point it's gonna go bad. I'm gonna cut out the middleman. I'm just not gonna do it at all, so I don't have to experience it starting good, then being bad. I'm gonna go all the way to the end of it, and that way I don't have to be bothered with it. You can justify not doing it, and I the lady that I date for the last couple of months was by yesterday, and we're not having any problems. And I looked her dead in her face and said, I'm not doing this again. And we laughed. And I said, because most times people say that when there's something wrong. You know, you got some problems, you just find out he cheated or she cheated, and you're like, okay, this is some bug, I'm not doing it. There's nothing wrong. I just know I'm tired of going to that well. You know what I'm saying? But the reality is, if this ended tomorrow, give me 3 months. If somebody inspires me, because I'm not a chronic dater. You know what I'm saying? Like I have to be moved. I have to think that there is something tangible, you know, and with merit there. I'm going to say, okay, the divine is not going to be happy with me if I don't take advantage of what this looks like it could be, you know? So I just want to encourage you. You didn't say why or anything, so I'm not making any assumptions about that. I'm just saying, if in that waiting period that you're in, try to stay open to the reality that it still may come, and you don't want to just dismiss it. It's like that age-old story with the city with the flood, and they, you know, the woman said, don't send me any boats or planes because God is going to save me. They sent a boat by the door, and she said, no, God going to save me. Then she's sitting on the roof, and
he drowned.
Right, and she drowned, and she got to heaven and said, I thought you were going to save me. He said, I sent you a boat, I sent you a helicopter. You know what
I did all that, and
yeah, so just
gonna die.
Because my gut tells me you would be an amazing mate for somebody. You would challenge them, and even though I get the that you have, and I think with the right mate it would be a great balance of you and him challenging each other, and so
most likely won't be a him.
Okay.
I tend toward women.
Yeah, that's fine.
Hey,
I speak
Amber, can I
in
ask you a
general
question?
terms, you know, but you know.
Yeah.
Amber, can I ask you a question? How old are you?
I'm 30.
Okay. You're old enough to be mine.
Does that make it more
I'm
challenging, Amber?
Woo.
The dating, the fact that you prefer same-sex relationships, is that a challenge that you see play out differently?
What do you mean? I'm sorry.
Meaning that women don't come with the same stereotypes, baggage.
Would you date a female?
No, that's what she just said. She preferred dating females. But my question to you is that there are some assumptions that you, without ever knowing me, just as a man, there are some assumptions you might make about me just based on what you know about men. So
Yeah.
when you consider women,
Do I do that with you?
well, I'm just
Yeah.
saying, are some of those things not present because they're
Okay.
man specific? You know what I'm
Good
saying?
question.
No. Well, that is a good question. That is a good question.
Hmm?
And okay, so I see. I was just speaking to Shara about this. Um, I see the energy takes precedence over the physical form for me. And I realize that thankfully more people are coming into the awareness that we all have masculine and feminine energy within us. Um,
Mhm.
the problems that I have, I don't think are innate in men. I think it's the conditioning of the society.
Yes.
Um, and because it is conditioning and it's not innate, it becomes an issue of masculine energy. That's what I perceive. So I see it in both men and women.
Hmm.
Um, the whatever I guess you could say toxic traits that I try to avoid, I see it in both men and women.
Because both have them, they just typically look different. But
Right.
Yeah.
but I would imagine that, and this is me just pontificating, but I would imagine that there may be some toxic traits in women that prefer women that are akin to the toxic traits in men. Does that make sense? So
No,
so
you
there
just
are some tendencies, there may be some tendencies in same-sex ladies that maybe consider themselves alpha females.
Mm.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
right.
They're
Yeah,
usually the more masculine
right.
dominant.
And there, I'm trying to choose
Yeah.
verbiage that I think is, accepting for you.
Right.
But that you would end up, you know, experiencing that with a man, that same toxic
Right.
kind of thing. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
Because I've often been told that I have a feminine temperament, even though I'm all man. I've been
Mhm.
said that because I'm not a macho guy. I'm not effeminate, but I'm not a macho guy. I don't hide
Yeah.
behind machismo. I'm not afraid to talk about my feelings. I'm not afraid to listen.
Yeah.
I pay attention.
Here.
So that's been called. I've never agreed with it or disagreed with it. I just receive it when it's said to me that there are elements of a feminine temperament
A lot
that
of people
exist.
would take offense to that.
I can
It's a beautiful
still, I can,
thing.
hey, I can still fight Amber. You know what I'm saying? I get it, so it doesn't.
I think it's beautiful. So this is the question I wanted to ask a while back and it just came back to me.
I'm sorry for cutting you off. I just didn't want to lose that moment.
No, that's okay. That was great. Okay, so Sean and Kennery, in your dating, because I think, it's unfair too, that women actually are using men too, who go all out to wine and dine them, and they're just using them for the treats.
gold diggers.
Yeah,
Women, we're
yeah,
gold diggers when all we want from a man is for him to go in his pocket and just do everything we want him to do.
I
right.
had
'Cause
I had, I had a
it's
female
sad.
friend accept a dinner date from a dude, and I'm just gonna. We're all grown. I'm gonna just use the words I want to.
Go
She,
for
she
it.
accepted a dinner date from a known whore,
Wow.
and I asked her, "Why would you go to dinner with him?"
Right.
You know what she said? For the free food.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, wow.
There is a whole. I mean, you all are women, but you don't get the energy and
The foolery that we get, boy.
I mean,
Yes, we do, because that's what you guys keep saying that, but we do. You think we don't understand you going through it. We go through it too with you guys, just like you guys go through it with us.
I need to stop you right there. One
Okay.
of the problems with these type of conversations,
Ism.
whataboutisms.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like whataboutism. What I'm talking about right now is what men are dealing with.
And that's one of the frailties that we don't realize that we are guilty of.
Right.
We can't isolate. And I choose to say, when men do come out and say what they feel, the automatic response is, but we. And so we never, ever get dealt with. We never get addressed. We never get protected or taken care of, because oftentimes it's then skewed into, I've seen what you all do given to us as it was our birth child. I talked to somebody yesterday and we were talking about we were talking about the Supreme Court justice and the fact that her husband is white. And or I don't know if he's white, but he's not black. And so I kind of was like, and the first thing they said was, yeah, but y'all been doing it. Black men, we just doing what y'all do. That's nonsense. You do what you do because you want to do it. You know, you're not gonna let men use you as scapegoats. I've never seen, you want to see a black woman stand up? Let a black woman hear that a black man is dating a white woman because of some deficiency in black women. 50,000 black women will leave their house today and start walking toward that voice like we finna drag your ass. But it's the same dynamic.
There's a reason for that. There's a reason for that, though.
What's
Not
that?
that there should not be well, if you're making a generalization, you should preface it by saying that you're speaking in general terms. But you know, like stereotypes, they exist for a reason. And I think
Say it again, Amber.
Stereotypes, some of them exist for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And there is a we as a people, we got a lot of trauma.
Yes.
And there are things that excite emotion in us because of that trauma, because of the trauma that impacts every aspect of our daily lives.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
It's not something that should be, it needs to be addressed. Maybe it can be addressed in a better way so that people who don't fall into that category don't feel like they're being directly attacked.
Right.
But it is
Right.
something
That's
that
not what I'm
needs to be
trying to do.
addressed.
Mm-hmm.
My intent is, and if you basically really go deeper, it does speak about protection. I want to protect you just like I want to be protected. So I want you to look at it from my point of view as well as I'm looking at it from your point of view as a man and as a woman.
But
I'm not deviating from anything.
Here's what needs to happen in those moments. It's not about, it's about letting the thought be completed and hearing the whole story. That's my thing. I don't have a problem with a position that is presented from, you want to say, the other side of the aisle, that is a counterpoint. I don't have a problem with that. I need for you to hear me, because there are subtle differences that are going to happen between us. Even if it's the same things, there are still going to be subtle differences. And I need for you or anybody to hear the whole story before we go talk about the opposite stuff.
Right.
If I'm speaking on something, and I try to do this when especially women, I don't go, like, I have a lot of female friends who post generalizations about men. I typically don't go into those posts and try to tear those generalizations apart. You have your moment. Let you have your moment. Say what you have to say. You have to get it off your chest. I'm not going to run in and say, well, but men say, that's because that's not the space for
He
that.
just wanted to finish his thought, is what he's saying, and then he's
And
going
I
to respond.
apologize for that.
Huh?
I apologize for interrupting.
Yeah, that's okay. That's okay. We're all learning the art of communication. Sometimes we just have to hear it, because that happened in one of my shows, and Sean had to do the same thing and just remind us, let's just listen. Just listen. As much as we want to interject, and just wait until we have that moment when we can respond.
Just to be clear, because we can't speak from your perspective. So just like, when we're having this dialogue, we speak from our perspective and you speak from yours, right?
Absolutely. You'll never hear me say women think, women feel.
Right.
I have no idea. I don't have any right to even frame my lips to say those things. I can share with you experiences that I've had. I can tell you what experiences were disproportionate. But that's why you lose me the minute you say real man, real woman. I stop listening to you because you have no idea what you're talking about. You don't know. I don't know what it takes to be a real woman, and no woman knows what it takes to be a real man. She knows what kind of man affirms her. You know what I'm saying? And that's regardless of what you know, the gender specific piece of it. You know what affirms you. You can't speak for everybody. Right. So one woman will say a real man pays all your bills. Well, maybe that's what you think a real man is, but that might not be what CHAR thinks a real man is.
And you'll notice that whenever I talk about a situation, it's a specific person or a specific situation. I never say all women are just terrible. All women want this and that, because what like Sean said, I don't know what all women are. And to be honest, I don't care.
Because I'm only looking for one.
I'm women in my life and anyone else that I can have a positive effect on that happens to be a woman that happens to come into my life. I don't have to be trying to have a relationship with you. You don't have to be related to me. I just want to have a conversation. Most of my friends for most of my life, my best friends have been female because, man, I'm listening. I'm hearing so much stuff. I try to learn from them because I don't have any sisters. And like Sean, I'm not the knuckle dragging kind of dude. I don't feel the need to prove my masculinity to anyone on this planet at all. So I'm not doing things to try to prove my manhood. So that in and of itself will exclude a lot of male friends because their whole existence is built around proving that they're a man or the alpha male or whatever they want to call themselves. I don't need to do that. I'm secure within myself. And whatever that masculinity looks like coming from me, I only want to attract the people who are drawn to that masculinity, that very specific masculinity. I don't need to fit into a mold that has a bunch of definitions. That's why Sean and I shy away from list makers and like that. You got a checklist. It's like, hold up. I just walked in the room. Assess me. Let's go from here. Look at who I am. Get to know me. And if you don't like it, I'm good with that. If you do like it, then let's be friends. Let's get to know each other. So
I'm so used to sharing opinions that piss people off. It doesn't even bother me anymore.
Yes.
But I remember dating a lady briefly. This is one of the two stories I told you guys about, the Dubai and 6 months and all that stuff. And one of those ladies, I said to her, and I meant it, and I still mean it. I said to her, I don't think if a man's value for you is him paying your bills and supporting you financially, which I know because I had personal exposure to her, she couldn't do herself successfully, then I don't think you really deserve the man with the good heart.
Right.
Because that's not how you define your version of a good man. Right. So if that's the meat and potatoes for you, then pursue that. Right. And don't be concerned with whatever else he comes with or doesn't come with. Right. Well, go get all your bills paid and live lavish. If he's an asshole, then he's just an asshole.
So and not only that, let me just add this real quick. I dated a young lady years ago. Well, she was 10 years older than me. Learning, it was wonderful. But because I learned a lot. But she was a person that she had been married before. She is related to the Haleys, the Alex Haleys.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
She's in a world of money. And she was married to a guy who made lots of money. She told me when we were first dating, she's like, you know what? I will never do that again. I said, well, why? She said, because he never had time for me. all he had time was making the money.
Making money.
And from,
Right.
you know, from my experiences, I won't say who, as far as men that I have met, in some of the men that I've met in the course of the last 10 to 12 years, there's a certain mindset that goes along with guys who chase money, because they have to have that mindset in order to do that. Now, I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I'm saying that there's a certain mindset that more often than not will take away. You're not going to get the romantic guy who chases money. Those two things.
Or not the one who has all that time.
Right. Those
He might make good on that time he has.
Right.
You know, but it'll be infrequent because he's chasing his bag.
Right. But so understand that there's a certain mindset that goes along with certain types of guys. And
Guys are people.
Yeah, well,
I was just about to say that, Amber. I was
right.
just about to say
guess
that.
I'm just speaking
Yes.
specifically with guys, but you're right. It's definitely people.
Mhm.
So you have to understand what those trade-offs are. When you get involved with certain types of people, there are trade-offs. There's nobody that can be everything to everybody. And some people just don't have that capacity to do that.
Most frailties are human. They aren't gender specific.
Right.
It's just that it's hard for, and that's and I'm not teasing you, Amber, but Amber will probably hear the lack of gender specificity quicker than we will, simply because of her dynamic. But when men speak, it's knee jerk, you know, because most of us are heterosexual. We speak about women, and then it sounds like we're talking about all women. And when women speak about men, they're talking about men. You know what I'm saying? But you don't mean all men. Well, some do, but you know what I'm saying.
Go back to defending Darlene's response, because
Right.
it's kind of the thing where, you know, she may not be talking about all men.
Right.
You know, in the mind, what you're saying is, my experiences have said X, Y, Z.
This is disproportionate. This happens in a disproportionate.
I hear you, darling.
Right.
Right.
That's
Hold on,
go
one
ahead.
more thing, please. I just want to say, because Kennery was speaking about, I think you said in your personal relationships, you just want to interact with people who are drawn to your specific energy and are not grouping you in with whoever. And I think that that's important for our one-on-one relationships, but also we are part of a community. We're a part of a whole.
Yes.
And there is a lot of conditioning
Yes.
and all sorts of indoctrination that comes along with that. And at some point, it's important for you to know who each person is one-on-one, and then who they are as part of that whole. How has the community and society at large affected you and who you have become, who you are today? That has to be part of the conversation.
Mhm.
Yes.
What's your educational background, Amber?
Yes.
Probably nothing like what it sounds. I went to school for marine vertebrate biology, environmental studies, veterinary science, and hospitality management.
You're right. Nothing like it sounds.
Nothing like, she's a genius. But listen. So let me give the rest. Let me give the floor to Darlene. I want her to share. How do you feel? How are you feeling?
Me?
Yeah.
A lot of things. Just, I've got information from a couple of men who, I mean, it's not something that I haven't heard. I'm just bringing experiences. I haven't experienced what I'm hearing. I just wanted to hear it from men, what they think about protection, because I've never had that at all. I was born into a family, and I know what it should look like. I just haven't experienced it. That's it. It's nothing. I'm not trying to.
I have a really innocent question for you. You said you know what it should look like.
Mm-hmm.
What
through
should it look like?
experience, through
What should it?
what I see.
What I'm trying to get at is that we want to be affirmed. That's all. At the end of the day, we want to get affirmed. And when I say we, I mean we as humans. You, me. What I'm getting at is that we have to be brave enough to challenge ourselves. Like, so you think about the woman who thinks protection is a man paying her bills. He may not be crossing any other T, dotting any other I, but she's content with that belief. That's what protection looks like to her. She's gonna stay there until she opens herself up and allows someone else to show her other possibilities. Maybe that's not the only thing protection looks like. Maybe protection also looks like this. Maybe protection also looks like that. Maybe if you try on one of these other versions of protection, you'll find that you find it more valid than the one you've been carrying for all this time, that definition of it.
Because protection is just protection. Somebody that's keeping you safe. You know what I'm saying?
Mental and emotional protection.
Yeah, and that's just
but Amber, those are two different kinds of protection that we never even talked about. You know what I'm saying? They're just as valid. They're just as essential. And that's what I mean when I say, what does it look like for you? And then are you willing to challenge the merit of that? Because sometimes protection is wanting to be agreed with, depending on how you see things. Like you can't enter into a situation with all the answers, right? You've got to come into a situation open to answers you never thought of. Because if you walk in with every answer, you walking out knowing nothing that you knew when you walked in, because you've closed yourself off to the possibility that you're going to learn something different, that you're going to learn something new. So I think we have to be careful about already deciding what's correct. You understand what I'm saying? Like, you can't walk into a situation looking to have your opinion affirmed. You've got to walk into a situation looking to have your opinion challenged, and then see if what you feel about it can stand.
Thank you so much, Sean, for your time.
Nice to meet you, Sean.
Nice meeting you, Amber. Good luck to you. Please think about what I said. 10 years is a long time. I believe you would be a blessing to the right person. So, don't just close it off because it's hard, because it's hard. It's gonna be hard. You know what I'm saying? So, but enjoyed y'all. Love y'all. Appreciate y'all. Thanks for including me. Yep. Darlene, nice meeting you.
You too.
Yep.
I
And
don't know what happened to me, but you too.
all right. Y'all be good. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Good night.
Sorry about that, you all. I didn't even hear the thing. My battery was low going out on the computer. I didn't even hear it. I was talking. It beeped. I know it's like saying, what love looks like because you see it around you, and with me, because CHAR, we always say this, we've been deeply rooted in church, and I know what God's love is. I know what it's supposed to be. So therefore, I know what protection is supposed to be, and I know what I have not gotten. It's not protection. It isn't. It's just, you don't beat on somebody. You don't tell your child they're never going to be anything. I've been called a tramp. I've experienced it all. I went to school at 13 with a black eye because I asked my mother, why was she always calling me names? And she acted like she didn't love me. Why did you have me? And yes. And the social worker had to come out to that. I mean, that's not, my dad didn't do anything. He didn't say anything. I'm 13. He's punched me. I'm telling you, I don't know what that is to experience it.
Yeah. Because
I've always had to protect me.
Yeah.
I've been sexually abused in my house. This is the places where I was born and brought into.
Safety.
I had no say. Yeah, I had no say so over the families that I had. But you're supposed to protect me so that when I go out into the world, I know how to get that protection. I don't have to always worry about, you got to protect yourself at all times. That's all I know is standing up for me, standing up for my son, standing up for my daughters. My sons are scared to say things sometimes. My son is, and my daughters, because we always have to, well, ain't nobody gonna come and rescue us. Nobody's gonna come and, hey, I got y'all back. I don't know that type of.
Can I ask a
What happened to
question?
CHAR?
So the topic is protection.
Pardon me?
Topic is
Yes.
so very specifically, Darlene, what do you feel like you need? I mean, and when we say the word protection, we already know that it covers a myriad of different ways to be protected. But specifically, if let's say you met some guy, what is it exactly would need for him to do for you in order for you to feel protected?
For example, you gave a good example. Protection to me doesn't always have to be physical. It could be verbally, speaking, like the young lady said, speaking up for me. That guy, when he comes, he's not standing there letting people talk to me any kind of way. Because guess what that says? I've learned this. Believe me, I'm working, as I told you guys, towards my degree for social work. I've learned throughout all of this. If someone see that you're not protected, you're open for vulnerability. And that means anybody can come in and take advantage of you. They can do whatever they want to do to you, say whatever they want to say to you, and you have nowhere to turn but to yourself. What protection does from a guy is what you did. Hey, we're not going to go there. Whatever happened, you gone. And I would never think, man, he ain't got no ego. He a coward. I would think he actually cares about me. He looked out for me enough to think, hey, let me process the situation. I'm gonna tell her what's going on, but I'm also to give her an out. So to me, that's protection. I don't have that. I don't get that. My daughters don't get that. And so most of the time we find ourselves isolating ourselves because we get tired of always having to protect ourselves. We can't pick up the phone. Again, as I said, I have 7 brothers. I have to fight them. I have to stand up to them. These are my brothers. I got 4 sisters. I have to stand up to them because all they know is everything is met. I don't care if we have a conversation, it's met with violence. You violently argue. Why? When we was on Zoom, I was like, my mom was sitting there. I was like, why are you guys going like this? It's not necessary. We're grown men and women. How are you protected? And that was what my youngest sister and I were saying. You guys never stand up for us. And when you do, you pick and choose. So I don't know. My oldest sister, we don't know what it's like. My baby sister lives in Tampa, Florida. My second youngest sister, is 12 of us. She lives in South Carolina. My youngest sister had open heart surgery, so she got sick. They drove all the way up there to see about her. Now I died in my apartment in Milwaukee. I had 2 sisters living in Milwaukee. Not one of them came to see me. None of my brothers flew ever. I don't know what that's like ever to have to. My dad, he said he would slit my throat in front of my daughters and my son because he didn't want me to. Him and my mother separated from him. He was mad because we wanted to go see my mom. They was in South Carolina. He got mad. My youngest brother was there and he didn't do anything.
Saying, it seems as though there is a deeply rooted family trauma there. And moving forward, obviously you can't do anything about things that have already transpired.
Right.
But moving forward, I would say it's important for, any of us, anybody in a similar position, you have to really use your discernment with who you choose
Yes.
keep around you moving forward. That includes family.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, judging by what you're saying, there are a lot of people I would cut communication with.
Exactly. When was the last time you spoke to them?
Oh God. My brother, I went, like I told you, Char, we had supposedly we were going to iron out everything because we weren't close. So I went to see them a year ago.
Oh, a year ago.
Yep,
Okay.
we go back, we come back. I talked to my brother Kevin a month ago. Shocked me that he called me. Because I thought something, because the last call I got was 12 years ago when my nephew passed and hadn't spoken to anyone. They don't talk to me. I have two sisters here. The one I talked to last is over 2 years ago. And before that, it was 11 years. I don't see them. My other second older sister, I don't call me, don't anything. I can interact with them on Facebook. When I say I interact, I don't get the response back to the point where I've had to type, okay, does anyone realize I'm talking to them? And this, even now, one of my brother's birthdays today, I wished him happy birthday and he didn't say anything to me. And that's how it always is.
So
I don't.
are you brave enough to just let them go?
Yeah, but that's what I'm trying to tell you. They're not it's what you guys don't understand. And I've put in the work. These are just my experiences that I'm sharing with you all. And I'm just putting out there, hey, what does protection feel like? Like you said, Char, you let me know I'm not in this by myself.
You're basically always in protection mode.
Right.
It's like that button is stuck.
Yes.
And,
yes.
And for good reason, because this is not just experiences you've had with guys that you've dated. This is family, like Amber said. This is a whole scenario that has affected how you view life and how you deal with it. So it's a lot. It's a lot.
It's a lot.
Part of the thing that helps move us forward, I mean, this is nothing like what you have dealt with, Darlene.
And I'm so sorry that you had to deal with all that.
Yes.
You didn't deserve that.
Absolutely. But one of the things, so, my experience pales, but it was my experience.
And then I don't want this to be a generational thing.
Well, so here's where this comes in. So I was the type of husband, I did everything that I knew how to do as correctly as I could. So I don't know to this day why I'm divorced. Obviously, whatever it was that she needed from me, I didn't provide. I never cheated. I always supported. I protected her. I did all the right things, but something was missing. So, there's nothing I can do about that. Okay. Here's the thing, though. In order for me, because I didn't get any closure, in order for me to move forward, I had to stop expecting certain things from her, which was an explanation or a conversation or anything. So the first thing that I would say, for not only for your family, but anybody that you meet, is for you to internalize, what you need, okay? You know what you need from people that are in your life. Mm-hmm. Knowing what you need and expecting those things from people are two different dynamics.
Right.
You get to know people. When you meet people, you get to know people. You have to learn how to recognize as soon as possible when people are not going to fulfill the needs that you have in your life. Because, I mean, we meet people, we make friends, we get involved.
Right.
A lot of it is based on our needs. It's not just because I like you and I just want to like you.
Right.
It's that those things are based on needs that we have, known and unknown. But in order for me to move forward, I don't approach dating, for instance, with any expectations.
Mhm.
I know internally what I desire, but in order for me to get to know that person, I have to put any extra. There's nothing.
Everything aside. Mhm.
It's everything aside. So your blank slate. I give a
Clean
person
slate.
a chance to show me who they are,
Right.
and then I can assess whether they fit the criteria of what I need in life. That doesn't make them a bad person. Like the
Right.
I went out with, she's not a bad person. She's a wonderful woman. She just did not fit the requirements. She's
Right.
somebody. I always used to say, that's a good person, but they're not necessarily good for me.
For me. Right.
So,
Hey, Kennery,
Hmm?
don't lose your thought. But isn't that the same as a woman having a list?
No.
No?
I said
Why isn't it?
I said I don't have a list.
No, you don't. But I'm saying, but you said you have criterias.
Well,
A criteria is a list.
we like what we like. I mean, we're attracted to what we're attracted
No,
to.
because I know you guys were talking about this earlier, and I'm like, it's the same thing.
It's
No.
the same.
Okay, it's okay.
Yes, it
What's
is.
wrong with it?
You're not, listen to what I'm saying. I
You
know.
want that to fit you, right? You want this person when you're saying you're not expecting anything, but really you are.
But when I talk about a list, I'm talking more about material things, and I'm talking more about, people who are heightists. He's got to be 6'2", or he's got to work in a certain profession, or he's got to
No.
make 6 figures. I'm talking about those type of lists. Those are the lists that I run into. Of course, if you're a person that says, I like to laugh a lot, so I need to be with somebody who likes to laugh a lot. That's just something that your spirit
Sense of humor,
connect with.
time, he's good. Those are the things that I'm looking for. Is he capable?
Things. And
That.
but that's not a, but Darlene, that's not a sadly
Not a list,
not a given.
not a requirement.
No, I'm saying not a given that the human beings have the capacity, because like Amber said, we all grow up in our own vacuums, in our own communities, nature versus nurture type of situations. So, and then how we process the world is different. So what I try to do is, along the lines of what Amber said, I try to take all of that into consideration and take my expectations initially out of the equation. Because the truth is, if I'm attracted to somebody, they're going to already pre-qualify. They're going to have characteristics that click with me. So I'm not just attracted. I've seen, I've traveled the world. I've met lots of beautiful women, but characteristics don't latch up. So the beauty, the physical beauty, that's a fringe benefit. I've dated women who I did not see as beautiful at first. I spent time around them, I wake up one day and it's like, oh my gosh, she is beautiful, because that character made them more beautiful to me. So I try to approach each person just as, who are you? I'm walking into the room and I need to find out who you are. I know what I gel with, but I need to know who you are, because you might have some hidden connections that you're not broadcasting. You might meet a guy who is very much willing and able to protect you in the way that you need to be protected, but it might not be broadcast as the front running characteristic of him. So what I guess I'm saying is, I try to, it's a balancing act. You have to know red flags and understand them.
Oh yeah.
Leave them alone, but you also have to allow everything to kind of organically manifest itself, so that
Yeah. Kennery, that's good stuff, because I know Darlene really wants to be in a relationship.
Mhm.
And my concern from listening to her is from her experiences, like it's when the right one comes along, the one who's compatible for you, not from your experiences, not putting that on him and
Yeah.
missing.
That's
And
great.
I don't, when I'm meeting you, when I'm talking to you, I'm always cognizant of red flags, looking at, that's not the first thing. You're not going to know that that's what I'm doing. He's not going to know that. I'm
But
sitting there, I want to talk to you because I will be sitting there with you, just talking to you and having fun because I want to get to just basic. We're just basic. We're basically learning about each other.
I
I
guess,
don't expect something like automatically all this stuff is going to come up because it's not.
but
It's not.
what I guess I'm also saying is you have to find a space, and I said this last
Right.
time, you have to find a space where your trauma doesn't lead.
Mm-hmm.
This is the best way I know how to put it, because it's the thing, whether you're trying to or not, it's the thing that people will vibe from you first.
Yeah.
Well, I haven't gotten that vibe first.
You're
That's the problem.
you're going your trauma is going to lead you until you address it though. You have to, especially if you're someone who's experienced or has had adverse adverse childhood experiences, what they call ACEs,
Mhm.
which I think most of us probably have, unfortunately.
Right.
But if you're someone who was um, raised in an environment that's just like reinforces a lot of negativity, and you continue into adulthood with that same group, that same circle of people that's just constantly reinforcing this negativity, like being mistreated from a young age, it actually changes the chemistry of your brain. There's just a lot of levels to
Right.
to the mental and to the emotional body.
Mhm.
So you can I don't think that it's healthy to just go about life expecting things to kind of level out and balance themselves without intentionally aiming for that. Like you have to address those traumas because they're gonna keep coming up.
Therapy is the reason I'm still capable of speaking. There were times I could never talk about this at all to anybody,
Mm-hmm.
to anyone. And then when I was ready to talk about it, I couldn't because I didn't have the space. There was no space anywhere where I could talk to someone like this. But let me change the space. Let's
Right.
say platform.
Right. I get it.
There was no platform. It's
Yeah.
not that I'm still hanging around the people who have been a part of the traumatic, or we can just say PTSD.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've experienced that, and I've had to do. That's why I haven't been in a relationship 30 plus, not intentionally that long. It's just the way it went. That's how it is. I've met different people, and I've learned about how to date. What are your expectations, Darlene? What do you want out of this person when you meet these people or whatever have you? I never got, well, I don't want to talk to you because blah, blah, blah. I never got that. I never get that. I have a good conversation with them, talk, blah, and then it gets to the part where it's always, they want to have sex. Wait, no.
Right. Right.
We're not. You're so beautiful and blah, blah, blah. You're so smart and you're so intelligent. But
I don't
why do
think
we have
that,
to
like,
have-
that's one reason why I avoid dating, is because I know that I have still so many broken pieces, so many broken parts of me. And I don't want to bring that, to anybody else, to another relationship. And I have some very significant things that I have to work out. And so I'm learning how to date myself. I'm learning how to love myself. I'm learning how to treat myself the way that I need to be treated. Have you gotten to that place where you're able to do
I
that?
don't want to be bothered because I was trying to self-care for me, self-heal, self-love me, do for me. It's nothing for me to sit up here and get a good book and read. I don't have a problem watching a show by myself. I don't have a problem. I have a glass of wine. I don't have a problem. I don't listen to my music and just nurturing me.
Good.
I don't avoid dating anymore. I get to the point where when as I said, get to these dates and they want to, so many of them are so, it's just, I don't know what kind of men these men are, but they feel like they need to have sex before they offer anything else. And I'm not, that's not me.
Yeah.
If I'm gonna lay with you, I have to have something more than other than sex. I don't want you getting up and you leave.
Right.
And I don't know if you're gonna be with somebody else.
Right.
Right now, go ahead.
It's one of the reasons why I don't have a lot of male friends. That typical thing, how men are wired. But you can make a choice about that wiring. Like I'm gonna run if on the first date I date somebody and she wants to have sex, I'm probably gonna run from her because I'm a little worried about why that happened that way.
Right.
But
more than anything else, I need for you as the woman to think about this choice. And it's not that I have not been that guy before to a degree, but I'm not a guy that I can't be intimate and not have feelings for you.
Wow.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm wired. I
gotta have feelings for you. I can't just.
It's not always been that way. It's not always been consistently that way. But I'm saying as I got older and understood the connection, it just but guys like me are not the norm. Just so you know, it's not you. It's not you.
Continually putting in the work because I'm evolving every day. Every year I get older, I'm evolving. I'm doing different things. And there are things that 10 years ago I didn't like, I like now. Mm-hmm. There's so many different things that that's opening my eyes, and I want to share them with that person. I want that person to share things with me. Mm-hmm. I'm like you. I can't just sleep with somebody and get up and you gone, and then I meet somebody else. Ooh, I'm attracted to them, and I'm gonna sleep with them. I'm sorry. I've been that way. I don't know any other way to be. I have to really, really like you and know that we're gonna go somewhere after this. I just can't see myself giving something I've cherished and saved for so long, and I'm laying with you.
I think it's important that we acknowledge, because it came up a couple times in this conversation, that there really is any type of sexual or physical interaction. It seems to weigh more for women than it does for men, and I think there are many reasons for that. The biggest reason being that women, I feel, just have so much more to lose because we carry life. And like I said to CHAR, I think it was yesterday, we're a portal. Our vessel is a portal. We bring souls in from the spirit world into the physical world. And even if you don't acknowledge that really in your conscious mind, it's something that we all know. And it's like, there's just, it seems so, in a way, disrespectful to me when and I don't want to make it seem as though Sean or Kennery or any other guy, like, they have the expectation, as we were talking about. But when I do come across men who have that expectation, it seems so disrespectful and so, like the value, I feel like my value as a person just goes completely over their heads. Like, you don't even realize what it is that you're asking for so little. For so little.
So,
make you feel
you're giving me a little drop and you want an ocean. That's how I see it.
That's my soul. Like, when you have sex, that's our soul. That's all of us.
Yes, I have a lot more work to do, but in the meantime, I don't want to feel like as I'm doing the work, when I'm meeting someone, that I always have to like she said, I give you a little bit and then you want everything. And then all that work I put in makes me feel unworthy because I didn't give in to you. So now I have to go back and clean myself up from that so that I can prepare myself for someone else so they don't get all that vibe from me, that negativity from me, because it's a transferring of spirit.
And this is just how I feel. I mean, and this is the process that we all have to do. Continue to work on, I mean, you might feel that you have put in the work and you're in a space, but when we're still triggered by certain things, that means there's more work that has to be done. But you have to have peace. The peace is the important part. The peace is the important part. I don't totally see peace within you. And that's understandable because of everything and for how long it has happened in your life. I can't even imagine. I'm not going to even try to pretend like I can. But I need you to be peaceful within yourself so that you already deserve that rare thing. You don't have to be whole and fixed to deserve it. You deserve it.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Good word.
Because you exist. Remember, God made you. If God found fit to make you, that means you're valuable. That means you mean something. That means you're important. So take that and understand your value in the fact that you are here. You exist.
Right.
It's up to somebody else to recognize that and to value that. But you have to have the peace that you're putting out there to say, I know I'm valuable.
Yeah.
I don't have to prove it to you. I don't need you to look, you're gonna miss out.
Right. Right.
You know, I that's the best way I know how to say it.
That's you.
Oh,
that was so awesome.
That's more than, I mean, that's was my expectation. I really seriously, yes, I expected you guys to just be real, just talk from your heart. I don't want all that fake garbage and mystery. No, there's nothing mystery about looking for someone to spend the rest of your life with and doing it in a way that makes both parties feel good.
But here's the thing: when you're in a space where you feel, for lack of a better way of putting it, woosah about all this stuff, where you can accept where you've been and where you're at, and it does not cause you anxiety, then you're in a space where you've owned it all, you accepted it, and it is what it is, but this is who I am now. And it's a space of peace. I guess that's the only way I know. You have to be in a space where you at peace. That doesn't mean everything has been resolved. It just means you're in a space of peace. I had to come to a space of peace with my divorce because it's not going to get resolved. It's never going to get resolved. But I have to have my inner peace about it. And then that's how you get to the next place of being able to move forward. You're able to accept, as uncolored as we can as human beings who have had experiences, what comes next, and not let that finding that thing be the thing that drives you. Don't look for that type of man. Don't look for him. Don't look for him, because I already told you he's rare.
Yeah.
I already told you he's rare. I'm telling you that as a man who hates hanging around with guys who are like that. They're rare. And you deserve what's rare. What's rare is valuable.
Come on now. Look.
You deserve. And you need to know that for sure where the piece inside of you says, I'm good with me, but anything that I get that's going to add value to me, that's going to be rare and valuable,
There's this,
that's going to be great.
right now, there's such a beautiful energy. What Kennery just put out there,
Mhm.
he just spoke life. I feel it.
Yeah.
And I mean, as a community, we're building each other up. And I think
Yes.
it's just a nice moment just to take a nice breath and just inhale that for real.
Mhm.
I feel the energy, like I got goosebumps from the crown of my head to the soles of my feet.
Kind of, it got in my
Breath,
stomach, like,
a nice breath, and just release the negativity. Release them. Just let your body breathe and let all that negative out. Inhale that and hold on to that, because I'm serious. Like, we become magnets for what we want.
Like you said, Darlene, and like Amber said, the physicality of how we're built is a reflection of the spiritual nature of things.
Mhm.
You all, as women, are built as a receptacle.
right.
So you're taking in spiritual, physical, all that. It's coming into you. That's why you have so much more
Yes.
lose from
Yes.
that process.
Amber,
I get that, because and that's why that physical is a reflection of that. You know, you're built to take it in. So
You gotta take everything in.
every
You
one of
gotta,
these acts is
Like boundaries.
Yeah.
hey, you gotta
Okay.
protect
Boundaries
yourself.
here.
That's too much. That's too
Let's
much.
let's slow down a little bit here.
get that.
I don't know you yet.
mhm.
And I just happen to be the type of man is like, I don't want to stick it anywhere. You know,
Right.
you know,
You
because
have some kind of respect for yourself. I mean,
Yes.
walk down a dark tunnel all the time and it might get beat up or robbed or something.
Right.
I'm careful where I go also.
People are nasty, so I just can't even look.
Oh my God, if this pandemic has taught me anything, is how nasty people really, really are. Oh my God. So yeah, so just understand that there are some of us that do understand that. Understand that that drive is still there. It's like I keep saying, it's how we handle that drive. If we express a physical attraction, that doesn't automatically mean that that's all.
What's gonna come out? Right. I know.
Now, when you say no, I want to wait, or I'm not ready for that. If he disappears, or if he acts funny, or if he tries to be forceful, your question has been answered there.
Right.
So that's the end of that story.
Yep.
But even if it comes up, I mean, we don't always. All of us don't ask questions. All of us
Oh, I
don't
didn't.
have discernment. All of us don't practice using our discernment.
Right.
So that's the problem. But when you meet those guys that do, you'll know.
Mm-hmm.
No, it won't.
And I've gotten those. As that's why I said, as I've gotten older and going through these experiences, I'm wiser than I was 20 years ago.
Right.
I'm wiser, even wiser than I was 10 years ago. And I'm continuing to stay wise. Okay. I don't go into it, as I said, thinking he's going to be physical. That's the first thing I'm asking you when I first meet you. Okay, what are you looking for? What do you want out of this? What are you dating? When we go to this date, when we're going out on a date, what are you looking for? Yes, you need to ask that, because I didn't do it before. I would just go on a date and I would just go with it.
Well, here's what I would say. I would lead with that on a first date, because you have to kind of allow a person to show you who they are.
Right.
Because
they can tell anything.
Right. No matter what, they can. There are some that are very practiced at giving the right answers. So they're going to show you who they are if you allow them. And you just
of course. My dad has a saying. He would say, all that dirt will come out in the washing.
Right. I mean,
and that meant.
That's why I said you need dating is work. You can't
Yes,
work.
because I've tried that way. I've tried just going with it. I've tried, and it usually is depending on the person.
Mm-hmm.
I've tried to discern, okay, when I go into it, and I don't always lead off with that, but somewhere I ease that in there. Okay.
Don't do it on the first date.
No, no, it comes a little, whatever happens after. The first date, I just want to sit down and enjoy getting to know you.
Mm-hmm.
I don't come in thinking they're gonna, here's the thing. I already know what they're thinking when they talk. You already, the first 10 minutes, you're gonna know if you're attracted to that person or not. Yes, you are. I already know when they want to date me or they want to go out with me, you're so beautiful. I think you're so sexy. And I already know that already. So when we go on a date, I'm aware of that. I don't ever think, well, they're going to want to get at me when this is over with. It just always happens like that. They really enjoy my company. They really enjoy my conversation. You're just so fine. But my daughters will tell you, they have had men come to them to get to me because they want to be with me.
Mm.
And they have literally said that they want to. Your mama's so fine. I want to sleep with her. And looking at them like, that's my mother you're talking about.
Those are not men, but we're going.
My son. No, well, you know what I'm saying. Man, I'm not saying they're.
No, I know.
You know what I'm saying. This man, that man, they've done it to my son, and he just be looking like, oh my God. I'm like, Aaron, just ignore him. Yeah. I'm serious. I've been walking and I just don't even be paying attention sometimes, and my daughter will be looking like, look at him like, what are y'all doing? Nothing, mom. This man trying to get us to get you. I'm like, oh God, no.
I think. Okay, we're gonna wrap it up. But I think that
27.
You and me and so many other women and men. It's not even a gender thing, but once we find that center within ourselves, I feel like that's when we're gonna attract and gravitate to that person. So I think, we just keep doing that self-work, self-care.
And I think I like this here just so that I can get what's in my head out. Yes. I'm not saying that, hey, I'm in this place or that place. I'm just sharing my experiences and praying that when you guys talk to me, okay, I'm on this track, and maybe I need to do this, and I'm on this track, and you okay, you're going the right direction. That's what you're giving me. I'm told you I'm not calling him, he canned me. So that's what you're giving me.
Guys are giving me,
Mission
accomplished then.
Yes, he has given me to let me know it's not, because I do. I'm always checking me first. I don't care if it's a female. I've had females. They click on, they want to be with me. I'm not like that, but I'm always checking me first. I don't point to the other person right on. No, okay, Darlene, what are you conveying? What are you saying? What are you not saying? What do you need to do? What do you don't do? Do you need to not do this? So when I get on here, it just reinforces and reaffirms, okay, this is what you need to do. You okay here, but you need to do more of this. And so the way he brought it to me, I'm not offended, because I've had it brought to me in really stupid ways, and just they showed you this and this how you this, and it's offensive. But they don't make me feel that way.
Sean, you talking about Sean or?
You, Sean? No.
She's appreciating what you guys just.
You guys are talking to me. No. I've never got that from any of you guys. Even when I talked to Thomas, he never made me feel like, oh my God, he's coming at me like it's your fault. This is what you need to do, and you need to do that. No, he just made me see that.
My heart, like I can knowing you, like
I can breathe.
I love what you're breathing into her right now.
Yes, because I can breathe.
These are not my words. These everything I say, I'm just a vessel. Just understand that.
Well, thanks for being obedient enough to speak.
Yes.
And share. And even for
There's a lot of men that are not being obedient when it comes to reinforcing us as women
right.
as a whole.
Yeah.
Because we need that. We're the vessel that breathes life. And when we can't breathe life in a way that is going to be good for the whole.
Listen, God didn't just make Jesus appear. He made
breath life.
He came through a woman.
Yes.
End of story. So, oh, and Amber, take 20 years, man. Listen, it don't look like your head exploded or anything like that from not dating. You take 20 years, take however long.
However long you need.
I'm going on 4 years with the exception of that one date. So, whatever.
I'm 30 plus, so I'm 63. I'm 62.
12 years for me.
So if
y'all got me faded, but hey.
Kind of tired now. Kind of tired.
I think I'm the longest, but
beautiful.
But when I think about those, I think
I'm gonna
go ahead.
I do need to end it now.
Okay.
But we can always continue the conversation in the group if you like. Again, thank you all for making this happen. I think this was very productive.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was productive. And
can't you tell? Because I've been
yes, you're glowing. Just between the way we started and now, you're glowing.
So can you lead off with prayer, close out with prayer?
Kennery.
Kennery? Yeah.
Father God, we come to you thanking you, Lord, for another day, your grace, mercy, and favor. Lord, we ask that you continue to bless and keep us, Lord. Give us wisdom, give us grace, give us mercy. Just continue to touch each life here, Lord, and guide us in the direction that you know we need to go in. Cover us and protect us. Help us to be a covering and protection for each other. Lord, just continue to be in our lives. And I pray for Darlene, and I pray for Amber, and I pray for CHAR, and I pray for Sean, and I pray for everyone who needs your intervention and your prayer and your covering. Lord, I ask that you continue to bless and keep us. And till we meet again. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Man.
You too.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
Thank you guys. Love you. Thank you for your
Bye.
time. Okay. Bye-bye.
Thank you.